everyone. This is Notes on the Spectrum with Isaac Berlin. I'm Isaac, so let's get started. Today, I'm joined by Gisela, who is the Program Director for Parents as Teachers at the Child and Family Resources, Inc. Gisela, thank you so much for meeting with me today. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on today.
So what exactly do you do?
So here at Parents as Teachers, as a program director, I supervise the program in the Northwest and Southwest region in Maricopa County. So it's what we know as the West Valley. So anything west of Phoenix, Glendale, Peoria, Surprise, and then Tulsa and Avondale. They're kind of split in between two regions. And as a program director, I manage the home visitation program. So we help families that have children under the age of 5 and are looking for support in general parenting, or are looking to help their children in their development, whether they have a concern on their child's development, their behavior, or just want to help their child be ready for kindergarten. And all of our services are free. It's like having a free parent coach that can answer any of your questions. So that's what I do.
Wow. Okay. So is your program limited to like any special needs children, or is it just any kids?
We have two programs. We have my program, which we call the universal program, and it's for any family, any child. And then we have our early intervention program, and that one is for children that are already having some delay in their development, or parents have a concern, but they've gone through the process of trying to get it, services through Arizona Early Intervention, and they have not qualified. So we don't want those families to just not have anything to help support them. So we take those children in and we focus, even though we're not therapists, we are early childhood professionals, so we can still give a lot of strategies for parents to help their children. So yes, we can enroll children that have special needs. We can enroll families that have a concern about their child and are not sure if they have a special need. If they're going through the evaluation process, we can support them in that. So anybody.
Oh, what is the evaluation process? I don't know.
So the evaluation process can be with your pediatrician, a developmental pediatrician. It can be with the Arizona Early Intervention Program. Parents might not know what it is, but they have some signs that they notice in their child, like a speech delay. My child's not saying any words. My child's not communicating, anything like that. And so the evaluation process is going through any of those pediatrician, any of those routes to try to get a diagnosis or see if my child just needs a little bit more support and time.
Gotcha. Okay. Wow. This sounds like a really good service.
Yes.
So how are you connected with Sounds of Autism?
The way I was connected with Sounds of Autism is I heard about them through First Things First, which is our funder. That's where we get the money for our program and our services. I heard about them through Brett, who is the community outreach person for First Things First in the Southwest region. And he mentioned the Sounds of Autism monthly meetings that they used to host in person at the YMCA. So I attended maybe a couple of them, and I was really interested in the work that they do, all the passion. And every time I see Bernadette and Cricket and the team and I hear from them, they inspire me so much. So I wanted to join, and participate somehow. And so I was approached by Bernadette to see if I wanted to lead some of the community meetings, and I said yes. And then shortly after that, everything went to virtual. So that's what I am doing now. I'm an ambassador and I help with the community meetings. I am bilingual, so I do the Spanish meetings once a month for the Life on the Spectrum.
Wow. Yeah. And those two amazing women are they just like pull you in. You just want to help them. It's amazing.
Yes, yes.
So how did you start your journey with this business? Or how did you get to where you're at today?
I started my career in early childhood as a classroom teacher. I taught in public school and private school settings. My passion is for helping the community in some way, whether it's directly with children or with families in any capacity. My last year of teaching was not what I wanted it to feel like anymore. So I left the school setting, the public school system, and I looked for another job where I could continue to help the community. And I came across this job. I started as a home visitor myself. And so I was visiting families, getting to know them, helping them with their children. And a couple years after that, I moved to being a program director. And now I get to help the staff that are going directly to the homes to support those families and make an impact. It's different when you're a classroom teacher, because I felt that my last year I taught third grade, I felt that those children had already gone through so much and I had missed such a window of opportunity with them that I wasn't able to make the impact that I wanted. But now with working in early childhood, because we start with prenatal. So if a mom is pregnant and wants services, she doesn't have to have any concern. She just wants to know more about being pregnant and preparing for the birth of the child. We start then. So everything that you hear, we get to implement with the parents, such as reading from the beginning, following your baby's cues, doing all the language, having routines and schedules, and all of those things. We start from the beginning with the family. So it's not just impacting one child since birth, it's impacting the whole family, and parents feel supported and they are feeling less stressed and more successful as a parent.
Yeah, no, that's such a that's such a good program, because like I truly feel, I don't have kids, I can't speak on that, but my best friend's his wife, or him and his wife, just had a baby. She just turned one yesterday actually, but like they went in tackling the situation because they wanted to learn as much as they could about how to take care of a baby. But I really feel like there's so much unknowns when you have a kid or when you have a child. And having a resource and program like you guys offer that's huge, where you can ask questions and you can have people that you trust, and you can be like, oh, what do I do? And then you have a resource and outlet for those answers. Like that's such a good program that you do. Oh my
Yes,
God.
yeah, because you know what, you can read a lot of books. There's parenting books, there's blogs, but is it trustworthy? Especially the blogs. The books are very general. You can read all the books when you're pregnant, but then when it's happening to you, you don't remember what you read, or it's very specific and you're like, well, that book said all of this stuff on how to get a baby to sleep, but my baby's not doing any of those things. So what do I do with my baby? And that's where also we come in, because we're the human connection, right? We all need that. We need to also reassurance that we're doing okay, we're trying to our best, and we're not the only ones struggling. And that's what we can provide with parents, where a book, a blog might not provide you with that, because you need someone walking you through it. And when we visit with families, whether it's weekly or once a month, we check in. Hey, you mentioned that you were struggling with potty training. How is that going now? It didn't work what I gave you. Okay, let's now try this. So we help them with any stage of development, all the way up to a child goes to kindergarten. So actually right now it's May 28th, 2021. We are getting ready for our graduation that we have every year in June. So we graduate our little children that are going to go to kindergarten. They will no longer receive our services. So we give them a little ceremony for the parents and the children having completed the program.
Wow. Yeah. So I was actually just going to ask, like, how long is the child in the program? So that, yeah, after kindergarten, is it the same like caseworker that works with the family? Is it like the same person from your company that sees? Wow, I can't talk. That works with the family throughout the entire experience. So it's like the same face and familiarity.
Ideally, we want it to be. We do have staff that move on to a different job, so then those families are transferred to somebody else. But if their parent educator is the title of the home visitor, if their parent educator is here, then they continue with the family for the whole time, whether we started them when they were pregnant. So technically, they can start when they're pregnant and be with us for 5-6 years until the child goes to kindergarten, if they need that support. We find that not all the families need that many years of support. So usually we tend to be 2 to 3 years, and then the families graduate during that time.
Yeah. And I just really, I think having the same person work with the family, like you build that trust, and then like the person genuinely cares about the situation and then the family and the dynamics and the kid's success. And like, that's fantastic.
Yes, exactly. We get to know the family on a very deep level. Before the pandemic, we were home visitors. We were in your home. Right now, things are still virtual. We are resuming some in-person services, but that is the most vulnerable place to open yourself, letting people in your home, not only to view your life, but see, did you clean the kitchen today, or what it's looking like, you know? And so we really get to know each family and each child so that we can individualize our services for every family. And every parent educator has a maximum of 25 families. And that's when they are only seeing once a month. If they're seeing weekly, then we have less families for each person to visit, so that they also get that opportunity to really get to know the family and find resources in the community that they might benefit from. So if we're not able to provide services, for example, we also work a lot on the parents' well-being. So we screen for depression after giving birth. You know, we want to make sure our parents are doing okay with their own mental health. And so if we find any area of stress, depression, anxiety that we are not experts in, we look for resources out in the community. And that's why I also came across Sounds of Autism, looking for resources for our families that have children with autism and where we can send them to when they need extra help.
That's great. So how can listeners or people get in contact with you if they feel they need your services?
So they can visit our website, childfamilyresources.org. We are a statewide agency. So the program I've been speaking about is my own program, and it's called Parents as Teachers. Parents as Teachers is mostly Maricopa. There are also some in Tucson. Parents as Teachers is actually a whole curriculum and model of how home visits are delivered. And that one is actually an international curriculum. So even if they live outside of Arizona, they can go to parentsasteachers.org to see if there's a program near them. It might not be my program because we are not national. We are very local for Maricopa County and only the West Valley, but they can qualify for services. I recommend any home visitation program that you might qualify for. Some, there's other home visitation programs available, have a very limited and restricted requirements to be enrolled in the program. For example, if they're pregnant, they have to be pregnant, the first 3 months of the pregnancy, or the child has to be under 90 days after birth. Our program is more, it's not as strict. So we enroll any child, any family, as long as they are under the age of 4. There's no income requirements. And that's the only requirement, is that there's a child in the home under the age of 4, and family is committed to having us either do virtual visits on a regular basis or in-person visits. Like I said, it's a long-term program. So it's, a good year or 2 that we ask families to stay with us. We don't do quick fixes, So if they have that behavior concern or child development, there's nothing that we can do or other people can do to fix the problem very quickly.
Right. So my favorite question, what is something that you wish you would have learned at the start of your journey? And that's like your own personal experience, whatever that means to you.
I think one thing I really wish I would have learned is that there's so many other great free programs out there and so many resources for families. Whatever they are going through, there's a resource for that. And all you have to do is look for it and accept the help. There's so many great programs that are canceled or not funded again, just simply because of the lack of awareness from families. The programs are there, but families are not coming in. They're not taking advantage of the parenting classes, the story times at the library, all of these great things that can benefit the family and the child from the beginning are not being used, I think, enough. And with Sounds of Autism, what they're doing is putting together a list of resources. So most of these are free resources or resources that the family can tap into for any concern that they have for high-risk children. And that's one great place to go. So it's even more beneficial where there's one website that you can type in what you need and all of these things come out, all of these resources that you can benefit from. So what I wish I knew sooner was that there's a lot of programs available that are for the community and are great for anything that you need.
Good. Do you think it's like a lack of knowledge or information that the resources are there, or is it like a prideful thing, like people don't ask for help? Like why do you think they're not like seeking help?
I think it's both, actually, what you mentioned. We don't want to seek help because then it's admitting that I'm not doing what I should be doing, not living up to the society's expectations or my own expectations of how I need to be as a super mom or as a super dad, that I actually do need help. And there is also the awareness, it's so easy for us to Google something that we don't know of in our everyday lives, a random fact that we need, but it's harder for us to do that when we actually need support. But it can be done. You can look on Facebook, you can look on Instagram, any social media platform or search engine. You can look for the things that you need and you'll be able to find a list of services.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today. Thank you so much for the program that you do. Like I'm sad that I didn't know about it sooner, because like I have friends that have kids and babies, and I'm like, you can have, oh my God. So thank you so
Yes, you
much
can
for
have
doing
this for
that.
free, a parent coach. And the last thing, my information, I'll give you my direct phone number if anybody needs to reach out to me, 480-739-7696. I did the website. And then again, my name is Gisela Jimenez Vazquez. If I can't connect you with our program, I can connect you to another program.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Thanks.